By 2026, parts of our planet may become unrecognizable, and for millions of people, unlivable. This is not some distant doomsday prophecy. It's a rapidly approaching reality. Imagine waking up in a place where stepping outside could kill you, where the air itself turns into poison, where water becomes rarer than gold, and where seas rise so fast that entire neighborhoods vanish overnight. The world is shifting at a speed humanity has never seen, and several countries are heading toward conditions so extreme that survival will feel like a daily battle. The question no one wants to ask is becoming unavoidable. Where will people actually be able to live by 2026? Let's start with Pakistan, especially Karachi and the southern regions. These areas could soon become some of the most uninhabitable places on Earth. Karachi, one of the largest cities in the world, is marching toward a terrifying tipping point. Imagine walking through a city where your skin burns under 50 degrees Celsius heat, where every breath fills your lungs with smog so toxic it stings your eyes and makes your chest feel heavy. It sounds like a nightmare, but it's already happening. In recent years, Karachi and Lahore's air quality has repeatedly spiked to hazardous levels. During peak seasons, the smog is so dense it looks like fog until you breathe it in and feel the unmistakable burn. And as the temperatures rise, the intensity of this toxic air amplifies the danger. We are talking about heat and pollution strong enough to cause respiratory collapse, heat stroke, and sudden death, with absolutely no warning. Perhaps even more terrifying is the water situation. The Indus River, Pakistan's lifeline for centuries, is now trapped in an unpredictable cycle of glacial melt, droughts, mismanagement, and climate chaos. Entire stretches of farmland no longer receive reliable irrigation, and millions depend on water that may simply vanish in the coming years. It's not just a shortage, it's a collapse. The country has already seen what happens when the climate snaps. In 2023, Karachi faced brutal heat waves that filled emergency rooms with dehydrated, fainting, and collapsing citizens. And the previous year, record-breaking floods in northern Pakistan wiped out entire communities and triggered one of the largest climate migration waves the country has ever seen. Karachi alone houses more than 16 million people. But by 2026, if the deadly combination of suffocating smog, blistering heat, collapsing water systems, and unpredictable floods continues, the city might become nearly impossible to live in. Survival itself becomes a gamble. This isn't a dystopian fantasy. This is Pakistan's fast-approaching reality. Moving on to India, it faces an equally alarming future. The northern plains and its massive megacities, Delhi, Kolkata, Mumbai, Chennai, are racing toward environmental conditions so extreme that simply existing outdoors could become life-threatening. Delhi, in particular, is reaching levels of air pollution so severe that international health experts call it one of the most toxic cities on Earth. During winter months, Delhi's air transforms into a thick gray blanket of poisonous smog, with AQI levels skyrocketing above 500. That's not just unhealthy, that is catastrophic. It means breathing the air is equivalent to smoking dozens of cigarettes a day. Combine that with extreme heat waves that kill hundreds of people every year. Northern India is experiencing what scientists call wet bulb temperatures, conditions where heat and humidity combine in such a way that the human body can no longer cool itself. These temperatures are not just uncomfortable, they are deadly within hours, and they are happening more frequently every year. But heat and smog are only half the story. India's coastal cities are drowning. Mumbai, Kolkata, and Chennai are now facing catastrophic flooding events. In 2022, Mumbai saw rainfall so intense that entire neighborhoods sank underwater. Streets turned into violent rivers, and transportation collapsed for days. These floods are becoming the new normal, and rising sea levels are only adding to the devastation. In just a few years, some of the most iconic coastal districts could be swallowed by the ocean for good. India's water crisis is spiraling too. Groundwater is being drained at terrifying speeds, and major cities are heading toward day zero, the moment when taps run completely dry. In some regions, it's no longer a hypothetical scenario. It's already happening. Imagine cities of 20 or 30 million people suddenly losing access to drinking water. Chaos wouldn't even begin to describe what would follow. Next is Bangladesh, standing right at the front line of this global crisis. Positioned on one of the world's most volatile deltas, the country faces the one threat it cannot outrun: water. Flooding has long been part of life in Bangladesh, but the intensity is exploding to levels that defy imagination. Cyclone Mocha in 2023 devastated entire towns, displacing millions and destroying critical infrastructure. By 2026, experts warn that coastal Bangladesh may not just be damaged, it could be permanently underwater. Dhaka, one of the most densely populated cities in the world, faces a double nightmare: rising seas and deadly smog. Its air pollution levels are comparable to the worst in the world, and millions breathe toxic air daily. Combine this with unbearable heat, shrinking farmland, and contaminated fresh water, and Bangladesh becomes a pressure cooker ready to explode. Saltwater intrusion is ruining once fertile soil, poisoning crops and drinking water alike. Imagine waking up in a village where every well tastes like seawater, because the ocean has invaded your land. Mass migration has already begun, and by 2026, Bangladesh could face one of the largest internal displacement crises in human history. Not because of war, but because of climate. This is the terrifying new reality of our world, and South Asia isn't alone. Yemen is approaching environmental collapse at breakneck speed. This is a country already battling conflict, poverty, and humanitarian crises. But climate change is threatening something even more fundamental: the ability to live on the land itself. Rainfall has plummeted, fertile areas are turning into deserts, and water scarcity has reached a point where towns go days without a single drop flowing from taps. Entire agricultural communities are losing their livelihoods. When the soil dies, so does everything around it. By 2026, Yemen's drought could turn vast regions into lifeless wastelands, pushing more people into cities that are already collapsing under pressure. It is a silent death of a nation, unfolding inch by inch. Then there's the Maldives, a paradise that may not exist much longer. Most of the islands sit only a meter above sea level, just 1 meter. Rising oceans are not a future concern. They are happening right now. Entire shorelines are disappearing. Resorts are reinforcing beaches every few months, and freshwater sources are becoming contaminated with saltwater. The Maldives could become the world's first country forced to relocate its entire population to another nation. Nigeria is facing a future equally grim and shockingly underreported. The Sahara Desert is expanding southward, devouring farmland and pushing millions of rural families toward urban centers. Cities like Lagos, Kano, and Abuja are swelling beyond capacity, grappling with heat waves, water shortages, and failing infrastructure. Lagos, already one of the largest cities in the world, is sinking due to overdevelopment, rising seas, and groundwater depletion. Add climate pressure to this equation, and you get a perfect storm, one that could displace millions. And here's the frightening part: when one region collapses, it doesn't fall alone. People move, borders strain, water and food supplies run dry, entire economies crack under pressure. Conflicts erupt over resources so basic that we take them for granted: air, water, and land. The world is heading toward a climate-driven migration crisis unlike anything humanity has ever witnessed. Millions will become climate refugees, not because they want to move, but because their homes simply won't exist anymore. The first warning signs are here, and it is all happening faster, much faster than most people are prepared to accept. By 2026, the map of livable and unlivable regions may shift dramatically. Some nations will fight to survive. Others may begin to crumble under environmental stress. And yet, this is not a story of hopelessness, but a wake-up call to the entire world. The choices made in the next few years will determine which countries adapt, which collapse, and which may become impossible to live in. The countdown has already begun, and the planet is not waiting for us to catch up. If this shook you, hit like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.